Yeah, Mike, let's break down that list for you. As late this afternoon, the House Finance Committee passed its version of the proposed budget, which is now heading to the House floor. And in that proposed budget is a roughly $2,300 PFD. But now, House minority members Elise Galvin and Sarah Hannon proposing lesser amounts, anywhere from $1,100 to $1,370, over concerns higher PFD payouts could take funding away from vital state services like education. Nome Democrat Representative Neil Foster's amendment for a full statutory PFD, similar to the $3,500 PFD Governor Dunleavy proposed in his budget, also failed. Some other notable cuts include $1.5 million earmarked for the state's statehood defense program, which funds lawsuits against the federal government. A cut to $5 million requested by Governor Mike Dunleavy's administration for the Eliaska Reading Academy. $7.5 million was added to the budget for grants to child care centers, and $4 million was rejected and then adopted to help fund year-round operations at an Anchorage homeless shelter. Here was some of the final debate on that $2,272 PFD amount.
My concern with the particular number at this time, based on available revenues, projected available revenues into the future, I don't see that amount as being sustainable very far into the future, and I don't see that amount as leaving enough headroom for potential crashes in oil prices that we've seen come and go.
Well, I'm torn because obviously I want us to follow the law, right? So I obviously would want a full PFD. The problem is, in order to get a full PFD, you have to cut the budget, the operating budget. You have to have a fiscal plan.
Now, in this proposed budget is also a one-time funding for a 680 BSA increase. Now, that funding was also in the education package that the governor vetoed. Now, if an education package does pass, this one-time funding provision in the proposed budget will be eliminated if an education package is passed. Steve Kirch, Alaska's news source.
All right, also in Juneau, House Finance Committee members reconsidered a $4 million request from the Anchorage mayor and the Assembly to keep a homeless shelter open year-round. This comes after members rejected the proposal earlier in the week, calling it not a good use of state money. Representative Andy Josephson asked for the reconsideration, stressing the need to keep the former Solid Waste Services building open as a low-barrier shelter through mid-October. Without the funding, the shelter would have to close at the end of April. Changing his vote this time around, committee member Bryce Edgman acknowledged Anchorage inherits some of its homeless population from other communities.
In fact, I know from firsthand experience being on the site in Anchorage, the homelessness problem in Anchorage in general has ties to rural Alaska. Can't give an exact percentage.
Now, in a statement, the Bronson administration said, quote, "This is a significant need that we face, and I really appreciate the attention the legislature is giving to this issue that affects all of Alaska."